What is going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about a horror film that I just watched from 2020 that I had no idea about it. I watched this on a whim. It's on Prime Video, and I realized that Arrow Video did a really pretty Blu-ray release of this movie, and I can see why. This movie was fantastic. It's a film that if you are a horror lover, you 100% should watch. And the film I'm going to be talking about today is Zombie for Sale. Zombie for Sale is directed by Lee Min-jae. When a pharmaceutical company's illegal experiments inadvertently create a zombie, the strange Park family finds it and tries to profit from it. So this movie is such a unique film. I feel like over the years, I just realized that Korea puts out some of the most incredible movies and some of the most uniquely written and incredibly well acted films in the entire scope of the film scene. So this film starts off with this couple driving in the middle of the rain, and they crash their car, and this guy is like out there and he's like, "Oh my God, I bet you're so glad you found me." And at first you kind of think, okay, you're gonna be following these two people in the car. And they go get their car fixed. The guy says that they go to this like gas station in the middle of nowhere. The guy says that the family ripped him off and that it's way too expensive, and they end up driving away. Well, then you cut to finding out you're gonna follow this family who runs this gas station. So you have the grandfather who lives in like this trailer out back behind the gas station. You have this mother and father who the mother is pregnant, and then you have their daughter who lives there, the other son of the grandfather who comes back from this business travel, and they're at this gas station. It's really like dilapidated and broken down, and you can tell that they live in the middle of nowhere in Korea, and so no one really comes around. And so then you cut to there's this open field, and this guy climbs out of a bucket in the field, and it's clear that he's a zombie. And so he's walking through and he's trying to like bite people. He can't bite anyone, and he ends up like falling on cabbage and eating cabbage. And that's like a reoccurring thing in the movies. He continues to eat cabbage, which is pretty funny. But he ends up stumbling to this gas station, biting the grandfather on the head. Well, when he bites the grandfather on the head, the grandfather realizes that he's starting to become young again, in a scene where he's constantly hanging out with all these old men and playing cards, and they go to the bathroom with him and they see how hard he's peeing and that it's normal, and they're like, "Oh my God, how did you get so young?" And so the family decides to profit off of this by having the men come and stick their hand into this barn and having the zombie bite all of them. And the film is just this really ridiculous, over-the-top movie that is hilarious. And then the third act, it kind of shifts to become something completely different. And that's what I found so commendable about this film, is that it's able to tonally juggle so many different moods throughout the film. It's very much overtly a comedy for like the first half of the movie. Then it starts to introduce more dramatic elements into the film, and it becomes just this really incredibly fast-paced, intense zombie movie that I think fans of the genre will really respect. It also has this like warm bodies type of element where the zombie and the young girl in the household, she starts to become infatuated with him, and that is a really funny element in the film that ends up paying off and really kind of being this great plot arc to the film. But what's really incredible to me is that the whole first act of this movie into the second act is this really kind of like methodically paced movie where you're really taking time to build up these characters. You have the grandfather who his life's kind of fallen apart. He doesn't really feel like he's gotten to do the things that he's wanted to do in his life. He wants to go to Hawaii. There's all these different things with his world life that he wants to do. He gets bit by this zombie and becomes young and starts to feel like he's going to be able to do all these things that he initially wanted to do before his life ends. And that's a really fascinating thing. And then you have this husband and wife couple who have a baby on the way, who want to make enough money so that they can support their child and make sure that their child has a life. And then you have this young daughter is just kind of trying to find herself and find her place in the world. And you have this uncle who comes back from the business trip who is trying to figure out how he can profit off this scenario, which adds a lot of really funny and ridiculously over-the-top circumstances to this film. And then the third act, when everything kind of blows up in their face, it just becomes this really relentless and intense film that I sort of had an idea it was going to go in that direction, but when it does, it's executed so well and done by people who clearly love the genre. It's clear that the people who worked on this film care about the zombie genre, but did enough to kind of make it their own unique thing. And this is a movie that if you're a fan of horror, you should definitely watch. I found this on Prime Video. It's streaming for free. If you get a chance to watch it, just dive right in and see it. It's so much fun. It's so uniquely different. And even if you don't love it as much as I did, which I loved this movie, you will 100% like it and take something away from it and really enjoy yourself. So have you seen Zombie for Sale? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was wonderful. I thought it was funny, it was heartwarming, it was brutal. It was exactly what I wanted from this type of film. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.